Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Auston back with another video. Today we will have a special guest. It is an American woman. I've seen somebody already talking real smart in the comments. They say, why do we care about what they think? Well, I'm not necessarily saying if they disagree or agree. They reached out to me, reposted some of my content. Their audience actually wanted me to interview them. And we'll never turn down any interviews. I'm trying to bring you guys as much content as I can. I have a lot more energy, as you can know, because as you can see, the sun is out. And when the sun is out, I can think. When the sun goes down, it's a lot harder for me to think. Let me read some of these chats you guys have. Also, if you are on the Patreon, I know you guys said that I have been slacking. I would agree. But right after this, I'm going to get off of this. I bought food already, so then I'm going to eat for like 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get on and we're going to talk about some stories about Colombia that I would never share on YouTube. Okay? That's what y'all said y'all want to see. We try to do finances and all that. I don't think you guys want to hear about finances. Like Rilla said one time, whenever we put up finance videos or videos other than women, those don't get as many views. So I'm still gonna do them, but I have to please the audience, and I don't mind talking about women. So we're gonna do that. Let's see what we got in here. We got Larry in here. But we're going to see what she has to say today. This should be very interesting. Now, if you guys can, I want you guys to leave some comments that I'll ask the questions for you. Leave some questions. I can't think of everything. Oh boy, they made a video about my mother. There's nothing I can do about it. Here's the crazy thing about YouTube. Somebody can talk about my mother, wish death on me in several videos, right? I can report them and nothing happens. Nothing happens. Somebody can report them wanting to go into an elementary school on Facebook and hurt a bunch of kids. Nothing happens. But the minute we say something about submissiveness or something that they consider misogynistic, guess what? You get canceled. You get canceled. You see how fucked up this country is? You can, man, get your passport. And there's a passport bro group. I actually have my own passport bros group. I'm sure. I mean, I'm open to joining, but yeah. So you can report. Oh, y'all can sit around and report the P man as much as you want, and nothing will happen. But the minute Austin says something about on TikTok, I've had my TikTok actually shut down one time because I told some chick that had something smart to say that she was not up for natural selection. She tried to say something smart, and I told her, baby, you're not even up for natural selection. Natural selection is a term used in the scientific world, kind of. But yeah. Okay, so we shouldn't care about what... This isn't about black women, but she is black, yes. So we're going to go ahead and bring our guest in. Disclaimer, she is not on camera. She's having some issues with her camera. I know y'all hate that. I would like for her to be on camera as well, but we're going to have to work with this today. Hello, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties.
Oh, that's fine. So at least we got you here today. Everybody's excited. We got almost 200 people in here watching. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Sure. So my name is Shawnee. I'm an esthetician, self-employed, based in Orlando, Florida. And I actually came across Austin's video, I think about last week. So I've been binge watching a lot of them to just kind of catch up and see, the discussions that he's been having. I keep seeing that people are referring to him as like the junior Kevin Samuel. So I thought that was very interesting. And the conversations I have on my platform are very similar. So when we connected and we talked about, just doing an interview, I was definitely excited about that.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your channel. You're a YouTuber as well, right?
No, so I don't have YouTube. I
Mm.
just do content creating online. My platform has been encouraging me to do it, but like I said, I don't have the time to commit between my schedule of taking care of my clients and then content creating and then being a pre-med student preparing for medical school. So it's a lot, but I love what I do. Um, but outside of that, we just talk about. So I try to encourage them about things that I've experienced, right? My platform, a lot of times, they're about, I don't know, I'd say about 8 years my elder. So mid, early, late 30s. And I'll talk about relationships. I'll give advice about the male perspective based on my experiences with men as well as my friends and conversations I've had with men. And then I'll try to encourage women to take heed to what they're saying because I think that the relationship conversation is very big now. And I think there's so many different people giving advice, but either no one's taking it or you have some people just giving advice because it sounds good. It's not really beneficial or conducive to them being successful with a man. So
Okay, so I don't know if you mentioned this just now or not, but people in the comments are saying what platform are
I did, and I'm sorry, Instagram.
Instagram.
On
Okay.
Instagram.
All right. So you said you've been binge watched my videos.
Hmm.
Tell me, what do you think exactly my content is about? And yeah, let's start there. What do you think my content is about from watching my videos?
I think so I'm going to be as transparent as possible. I think
Mhm.
that I think that your motive and your mission is to obviously enlighten, Western men, right? And I
Mhm.
think you're trying to make sure that you expose them to other options, not just related to women, but finances and sustainability with life because it's very expensive to live here, right? America is a money driven country. And so I can appreciate that because I find that young men, regardless of their background and their race, they're looking for someone who is like minded, speaking truth, giving them opportunities and examples on what else is out there. I personally don't think that things are obtainable unless you can see that they're tangible. You can't be what you can't see. And so I think that you serve as an example of that for a lot of men today, regardless of their age.
So a strong, exactly, that's true. So as a strong point to my content is leave American women alone completely. What do you
Mm.
have to feel about that? Being an American woman.
Um, So if we're talking about the average American woman, I could understand why you're saying that, right?
Of
And the
course.
conversations that we've had offline, I think that the issue is the things that US men are looking for, or men like yourself. I don't think you're getting it. I don't think it's being received, right? um and even some of the videos I've watched, I don't think the manner and how you're maneuvering is a bad thing. I even try to tell my girlfriends, if you're dealing with a man and he is telling you that he's in a space of having fun and getting to know who he is and leveling himself up and seeing what else is out there, that doesn't make him a bad man if he's upfront. If he is telling you he wants exclusivity and he maneuvers in a different fashion, that's where the issue is, because that is deception. He's being deceitful. But you or other men like yourself, they're not doing that. The problem is women like to hear what they want and think that they're going to change the outcome. And so um I think that I don't think it's bad to say to leave them alone, but this is the thing. If you're giving certain advice and they're implementing the advice that you're giving them and it's still not working, then I would say yes, see what other options are out there. I don't think that's a bad thing to do. And I think I mentioned this to you. For me, as especially having my experiences and with my culture, right? I'm West Indian. So I would also say that my experiences have been very similar with US men. I find that men today, they lack temperament and they don't understand that they oftentimes set the tone of the relationship. We can agree to disagree, but when you start to be vulgar and belligerent and you lose your temper and you don't understand that having a heated discussion is better for the overall relationship, that becomes a problem too. because I like a masculine man. And when someone is yelling and screaming and cursing at me, it makes me feel like I'm in a relationship with a woman. That
So
energy is feminine.
I'm not sorry to cut you off. I'm not gonna as you see my videos, I'm pretty vulgar. We call that bitch energy over here.
Right. That's fine.
Okay. So what exactly is a masculine man to you?
That's actually a great question. So I think a masculine man, are you referring to just the physical or just overall?
Overall.
So I think a masculine man is someone who knows what he wants, and he's intentional. He moves with intent. He's very direct, and that he's a leader, right? I
Hmm.
don't know that. And again, if you would agree, we can agree to disagree. But I don't think that masculinity and being a leader means that you're a dictator. I think that's the misconception of today.
What is a dictator? What is a dictator in a relationship?
Um, I would just say telling someone what to do without considering their thoughts, their feelings, and their perspective, right? Because even in leadership, what I've noticed with my father, with my stepfather, with bosses I've had,
Hmm.
yes, leaders make decisions, but I believe that good leaders consider the people that they're leading as well. It doesn't mean that they do what they say, but they take into consideration what's being said. That's why I feel like a wife or a good woman is wise counsel. Be-
So go ahead.
no, I'm that's it. That's fine.
So somebody just left a comment. Let me read this super chat real quick though. Jay
Mhm.
Stokes says, "Is that Paris Milan?" No.
Who's this?
Uh, but somebody said there was a few funny comments actually. Somebody said that they think that you think a leader is just someone that pays for everything. But also somebody also said that yeah, that was pretty funny.
Have they where is this recent that they said that comment?
No, they just said that. But there's so
Okay.
many comments coming through, you probably won't be able to find it now. But
Mhm.
somebody said that based off what you're saying, you look like you sound like you would do 50-50. Are you a 50-50, or I pay 100% of the bills and or what?
Um oh, we have to be honest on this. Okay. I don't
Whoa.
know.
Now hold
Okay,
on. You
I'm
should
gonna
have
be
to think
honest with
about
you.
that one right
I
there.
am. I'm gonna. The reason because I want to say this because the comment threw me off guard is funny. Unless the person went to my page, I don't know how they would pick that up from this. This excerpt that I'm saying. But what I'll say is this: I honestly, that is not a factor to me anymore. And the reason I say I'm gonna be very transparent. The reason I say that too is because I have dated a number of affluent men, and I think you have to understand as a woman, at least for me, a man's money does not define him. That's not suitable. That's not enough for me. Like, I understand the value of a man outside of his pocket. So when it comes to paying 50-50 or him paying all the bills, I just need to know the dynamic as far as what that also means for you. Because I take pride in working, right? Because if things fall short for him, I can pick up slack if he needs it.
So what do you prefer?
I don't have a preference when it comes to that. I'm being completely, I don't have a
I,
preference.
I'm not saying you lying,
Oh
but
yeah, no, I don't. I'm being this is a great conversation. I really don't have a preference.
okay. So you don't have a preference. So if you could make your own Build a Bear, which a lot of women try to do, if
Uh-huh.
you could make your own Build a Bear, man, what what would he be like when it comes to find like who's taking care of the bills? If you had to make that Build a Bear, man, what would you do?
I would just want him to be financially stable. And this question is great because I have actually mentioned this on my platform before. One of my non-negotiables is a financially stable man. And the flack that I always get is, okay, well, what is that? Do you want him? You have to want him to make six figures. People always say that to me. That's not the case, right? Depending upon the type of lifestyle that we want to live, I'll have to determine that.
Let me read these super chats real quick. We'll get right back to that. Wade says black men are dictators. This is Gino Crab Babel. Uh
Oh
Pay
my
it
God.
all. Don't be dictator. Soft girl scam. Appreciate those super chats. So they say you're on a soft girl scam. Would you call yourself? Do you identify as soft?
So I identify as soft, but as far as the soft girl trend that's going around, I think it's very immature. I think these trends of being a soft girl and that girl and it girl, it's an immature thing.
So you do identify as soft, but are you soft?
I believe so. I've been told so. I haven't been told that I'm masculine. Men don't deal with me in a form of me being masculine.
Okay, we'll see. So you identify as soft and you are soft. So she said, Wrench Turner right here says, if no preference, does he control all of the finances? We'll wait. Appreciate these super chats right here too as well. Diwa Pro Light. So he controls all the finances. So do you
Mhm.
feel like you'd be oppressed? Let me just tell you about myself.
Sure.
I was raised. My father paid all the bills growing up, even though
Hmm.
it's gonna sound weird. I grew up with a single mother, but
Okay.
my dad still paid all the bills. So I had a two-parent household. My dad just didn't live in the household. As crazy that may sound. They were still very involved for a long time, for at least 12, 13 years. He paid all the bills. So me seeing that growing up,
Hmm.
I was raised to pay all the bills, to have my own. Y'all got to get the hell out of these comments. But y'all, I was raised to have my own success where I can provide for myself and the entire family.
Hmm.
That means she can have her own job. So you are an esthetician. That's fine.
Hmm.
But that doesn't make me want to date you anymore. Like we always say, it could be a motherfucker at McDonald's frying French fries, and she can get married to me if she does the right things. Money has nothing to do with it.
Right. Exactly. I agree.
So do you feel like men are oppressing, or I've heard this crazy thing, suppressing talent from a woman by paying all the bills and financially controlling her? Yeah, I'm not gonna control you. If you want to walk out, get the hell out of my house. But what do you feel like that's oppressive?
No, I don't think it's oppressive. I just think that the reason they feel that way is because one, they're not having conversations with the man that they're dealing with. Two, they may not have taken the time to properly vet him to see if they agree with his program. And three, they don't trust or respect him. Because I'll say this to you, I actually don't have a problem with putting my money in a joint account with a man, right? And I've said this to girlfriends before, and they were shocked because they know me. And I said the reason that you have an issue with that is because the man you're dealing with, you don't trust him. If my dad were to tell me that, hey, I'm going to put X amount of money in this account, put X amount of money in this account, I'm not going to question if he has my best interest at heart. One, because he's my father, and two, because I trust him. So I don't think a man taking care of the bills, whether it be partially or all, is suppressing me. I just need to know if you are going to take care of all the bills, what does that look like? What does that mean for you? What are you expecting from yourself and for me?
What are you gonna offer?
It depends. We'd have to have a conversation about what that looks like for us. And in what capacity? Are you asking about what do I have to offer with other women? Am I asking for monogamy? What does that mean?
Uh, Sheila Coy, I can. You gotta send me a Instagram voice message on how to do this. They said that you're baiting and switching. Just wait for it.
Okay.
Appreciate that super chat, but don't get offended by the comments. You got to take
I'm
this
not
heat.
I'm not getting a listen, I expected for your audience to do this. This is I wouldn't have agreed if I was scared.
I love the heat. But what are you offering? Because I'm gonna tell you this: when I went overseas, I don't know if you've seen the video where I was talking about the girl. She was basically burping me like I was a newborn baby. Would that be second nature for you?
Oh yeah, so that's the video that I posted on my platform, how I gave an example
Yeah,
of
yeah,
when I had a situation with an ex. Do I need to expound on that for them?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So this was fresh in when my ex and I started dating. So this is before any love was involved or manifested. And there was a night that he had gotten really, really drunk. And so the events that actually transpired that night, if I were to tell you, you would have probably told me to leave. Because at that point, he was still, kind of a stranger in a sense. This is fresh dating a few weeks in. And so, he was so intoxicated. I was so concerned. I thought that he had alcohol poisoning. So he couldn't take a shower. So I bathed him. I changed his clothes. I put him in bed. I rubbed his back until he fell asleep. His body was so cold that, I was concerned. So I stayed the night. And then I got up, got us breakfast, made sure he was fine, went about my day, and then I checked on him in the afternoon.
Really?
Yes, I don't see an issue with that. If his condition wasn't detrimental to me, then why not help him?
I don't see an issue with it either, but as an American man and the many men in my chat, we know that, and from what I've seen,
Hmm.
the average guy is not going to get that from the average woman in this country.
Hmm.
I said if I was throwing up and an American woman was there, I'm gonna tell you two things. If an American woman was there,
Hmm.
I would be on the toilet on my knees throwing up, and she would be at the entrance of the door asking me if I'm all right. She wouldn't have been wrapping me in a towel and telling me it's okay, baby, and burping me like
Hmm.
I was a baby. My ex-girlfriend, I ate some pistachios. I didn't know I was allergic to them, and like an hour later, my tongue was like the size of a damn apple.
Hmm.
And this motherfucker acted like she was annoyed that I was about to die. So that's what you, and we can sit over here, and I'm not saying that you're saying this, but we can sit over here and say that all women aren't the same. But that's what you're running into the majority of the time. I don't know how long I have on Earth. I don't have time to jump through hoops and go on treasure hunts and find the Garden of Eden and where's Waldo. I don't have time for any of that.
Hmm.
So I'd rather go to the source where that's all at. Let me read this super chat real quick. Jason Go says, is she married because she can't speak on something she's not living? Uh, KBV says, would she support the household responsibilities if her husband fell sick or became disabled? Basically, take his place as the head of the household. That's a good one. Would you do that?
Yes, that's my responsibility. I, Again, that's easier said than done. But the thing is, like, when you're dealing with women, US or not, foreign or not, you have to pay attention to, you need to vet the person, right? And I'm not just talking about asking questions. Your experiences will also tell you what the person is willing and not willing to do. And at the same token, we can both sit here and say that we are going to do this, that, and the third, but sometimes you don't know how you're going to respond until you're actually presented with that scenario.
So stay right there. We're gonna get back on topic. But
Okay.
somebody asked, do you have a man now?
No, I'm not married.
Okay. You single.
Yes.
So the next person asked that you're single. If so, why did y'all break up?
I have to. Okay. um, can I share or
Yeah,
do you?
go ahead. Go ahead. We this is
So,
a free for all on this channel.
okay. So, with my last relationship, I broke things up because I felt like it was not beneficial, not only for me, but for the individual. And I've learned that, you can't force a person to change if they're not willing to change, right? I'm a
Absolutely.
relationship person and I don't believe in just washing my hands with people. I will exhaust all options. But if the individual is not willing, there's nothing you can do. And you have to learn to meet people where they're at, even if you want to help them. Even if they're saying they want help, their actions are not saying, they're not matching up with what they're saying.
Okay, let me hold that right there. But somebody asked, and this is the last super chat I'm gonna read because I need to get back to that question, and then we're gonna get back to your super chats. Don Levon says, "How much money did her ex make per year?"
6+ figures.
6+ figures. Okay. So I asked you a minute ago. Y'all didn't really get an answer.
Okay.
What will you provide? Let me give you an example. The first time I went to South America, you probably seen. I said I cried coming back
Yes.
because I did not want to bring my ass back to Texas because I knew it wasn't shit waiting on me. At least nothing like what I had in Brazil the first time I went. I've been to Brazil and Colombia. I'm about to go to Thailand here in a few weeks. I'm pretty sure I might cry again when I leave Thailand because I've heard about the Asian women, but uh they were doing. I'm not because I don't want to give you any hints. I want to actually hear what you had to say.
Okay.
They did a lot of things that my mother would have done, but it wasn't as such as her being my mother. She just one I give you. She ironed my clothes without me asking one day,
Mhm.
and was just that was what I call support because she's making my life easier. Especially, okay, so that's what I always say. If we have a man that's providing, he's paying
Mhm.
100% of the bills, that's making your life easier, hands down. You don't have to work. What are you gonna do in return to make that man's life easier?
Um, I don't want to say that it's hard to say because it depends on what he's doing and what he needs. But I mean, if it's keeping the house clean, if it's making sure that the responsibilities that he can't take care of, that I can take care of, I'll do, whether it's cooking, whether it's cleaning. But the reason I laugh at that question, because it is a valid question, because most women, I don't think they'd be able to answer. It's because I do those things for myself where I live. So I would expect to do the same with my partner, right? I don't like when people say that they're independent because they pay their own bills. We're adults. We're supposed to do that.
I'm not getting a direct answer out of you.
Okay. I don't know I don't know how much direct you want me to be, like, and again, this conversation is needed, but if you're asking me what he's going to get, I will keep the house clean. I will cook, I will clean, I'll do his laundry, but that's basic necessity stuff.
Okay, so let's go to some verbal things because
Okay.
besides ironing clothes, washing, cooking, let's go to some verbal things. Okay,
Okay.
verbally, how are you going to support this man?
How am I going to verbally support him?
Oh yes, that this is going to be yeah. Let's go that because I know the answer. I've been verbally supported in the
Uh-huh.
states one time,
Hmm.
but go ahead.
Okay, well, now you're making me think. I feel like this is a trick question, but if I'm saying verbally support, I, I am an encouraging individual, right? So when I think of, and listen, this is my perspective based on how I'm receiving your question. When I think of verbal support, it's just encouraging him to continue doing what he's doing. If he needs encouragement, I will give that to him. And I also feel like I'm easy to talk to. So I'm able to give my man sound advice when necessary.
So I think you may have a gist of it. I'm gonna give you an example. The first chick I had in Brazil, I was actually talking to her before I got 5 weeks before I got to Brazil,
Hmm.
and oh, these comments are funny. So somebody said, she said she would tell me at times that she had me feeling so empowered. She would just remind me, Austin, you're so masculine.
Hmm.
And we're not going to be able to counter that in the United. You're not, I don't give a fuck.
Hmm.
Typically, no woman in the United States is telling her man that he's masculine. That y'all have too much pride for that. That'll break a lot of women's heart to say, "Oh, you know what? You're just so manly. You also you just handle business. You do everything you say."
Hmm.
Could you is that something that you would include in your verbal,
I may not say it like that, but I'll remind him how strong he is. Whether it's whether it's when he's working out or when he's taking, like, our lingo is different, right? And I laughed when you said the word masculine because I understand what you mean. Yes, most US women are not going to say that, and I don't know why it breaks them. I think that's a pride thing on their end, because women have pride. We have egos as well. We have egos as well. I also think it's a competition thing. There was a guy I used to talk to, and when we were having a conversation about what our situation was like, he would always tell me he loved the fact that I'm very supportive and I don't compete with my man. I never understood that, because unless he was talking about sports, I didn't understand what it meant to compete with your partner. And he meant the girls that he dated previously to me, they would compete with finances, what they had going on, their accolades. I don't think that's healthy
Hmm.
for a relationship.
So yeah, I've dated a woman. She competed with me. We're
Hmm.
not gonna say because people love to say, "Oh, I'm 23. I haven't experienced enough life to know that I need to leave the country." Those people also don't know what the hell they're talking about. Let me read
Hmm.
the super chat real quick. Wrench Turner says, "I interview people for a living. She's not lying about everything, but there's definitely some deception in her answers."
Where's the deception in my answers? I would love to know.
Don Levon says, "Would she take care of him like that when he was drunk? If he made 40 grand a year?"
That's a good question. Can I answer that?
Yeah, one second. All these no answer answers. She should run for office. Ah, that was a good one. Okay. One more, and then we'll let you. Did she? Okay, let's go back because this is another good question. but we're gonna go back to that one that you wanted to answer. And that guy asked, uh, "Would you take care of that man while he was drunk if he only made 40 grand a year?"
So yes, when I first started dating my ex, I didn't even know what he did. I didn't know the ramifications of his job description and how much money he made.
What kind of car did he drive?
Do I have to put? I'm not.
Just give me a name brand.
mm, I don't want to.
No, what name brand car? Because that changes the entire.
Why does it? Why does it change it?
Because if he pulled up in a Ferrari, you
Uh-huh.
don't care about what his job description was. You know he got something going.
So this is where I have to counter you, and because I'm anecdotal. I do not care about money in the facet that most women do. And I think it's not only because of how I was raised, it's because of my experiences with these men. Because what you have to understand is there are good men and there are good women. There are bad men and bad women, right? You have to look at a person's heart and their intention. And I know it sounds like it's a right who that's who that, but it's different for myself. I know we're talking about the majority, but I had one of my close girlfriends respond to the post I posted yesterday about my situation. And she said that she agrees she would do the same thing, but if this is someone she just met or if it was a one night stand, she doesn't owe them anything. And that's not to say that she wouldn't help them. I told her at that point we can agree to disagree, because whether or not I just met them, as long as their condition is not detrimental to my health, I'm going to help them. If you saw the condition that he was in, you would probably look at me sideways if I didn't help him. But you're saying most women wouldn't do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you again.
Yes.
What name brand car did he drive?
I don't feel comfortable disclosing what he drove.
What was the car worth more than 30 grand?
Yes.
Was it worth more than 50 grand? Do you hear me? Are you still
Yes,
there?
I can hear
Okay,
you.
that was an absolutely silent pause. Was the car worth more than 50 grand?
Yes.
Okay, so this was not a 40 grand. So you knew off the rip he didn't make 40 grand. Okay. So that I think I'm gonna have to say
Wait,
that
oh,
probably played a role.
hold on. Not to cut you off. No, you're incorrect. You're correct. The car that I met him in, it was less than 50 grand.
Was it more than 40 grand?
I don't believe so. I don't
But
believe.
it was more than 30, you would believe.
Yeah, it was more than 30.
So we're gonna put it at 35 grand. Let's divide that by the average. What's the average car note? 72 months?
I think so. 30.
72 months. So that's almost $500 a month before insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't the average earner. That you have to be, or unless if you just spending all his damn money on the car, you have to be an above average earner to afford a car that's probably going to cost you $700 a month to drive before gas. So, do you think you said you didn't know his job, but what if he pulled up in a PT Cruiser? Would he get patted on the back like that?
Yes. I don't deal with men that I don't like.
Of course, and you shouldn't. I don't deal with women I don't like. Well, in the United States, I did. Uh, let
I,
me read this super chat.
okay.
D Wayne says, "Did she do those things for the ex? Which one of you wanted marriage?"
Am I supposed to answer?
Yeah. Did you do those same things for your ex, and which one of y'all wanted marriage?
I did, and we both wanted marriage. He brought the conversation up to me. I don't deal with men who are not marriage minded, because I would like to be married. But unfortunately, I don't think it's smart to move forward with someone in marriage if you know that there are some things that they're unwilling to work on for the relationship. I don't think that's smart. I'm not sure if that's smart to do.
2011 Dab says, "Why do American women feel like they? Why do American women feel like they have to compete at all?" I think he's saying that they don't. They don't. That's a good question. What wife skills does she have minus cooking, cleaning, doing laundry? What skills does she have to make a marriage last 40 plus years? That's a good one. What do you think?
That's a good question. That's a lovely question. I think being a supportive partner. I think understanding that relationships are not black and white and that there are a lot of gray, learning how to adjust, learning how to give and take, understanding that happiness is fluid and you're not always going to be happy in your relationship. And you have to choose to love the person in spite of their differences. So those are a few things that I think that'll be beneficial for my marriage that people aren't willing to do today.
Okay. Derek, I did not see your super chat. If you, yeah, I'm reading the chat. If you guys want to, if you could send another dollar super chat, I don't know how much you sent the first time. I'm sorry. But let's see. Let me see, because we have gotten so many chats. They are, we still stuck on that car.
Oh Lord.
We still stuck on that car because I don't think if he pulled up in a PT Cruiser,
Well,
but
I can't argue with you. We don't know each other, so that's fine. I do think the average woman, though, the average US woman, you are correct. They would not have given him the same treatment if he pulled up in a PT Cruiser.
these chameleons ain't fooling no one. Keep up the fire content, Auston. Okay. So far I'm neutral in the situation, but I'm digging deeper. We're gonna get all the way to the bottom of this. Cognac Mac, this motherfucker sounds like the best single woman ever. Get your passport, fellas. Thanks again, Captain Planet. Why can't she answer the question straight? What the fuck? Yeah, I will say she is elaborate. I'm gonna get her to answer these questions a little more bluntly here in a minute. Don't let her continue to baffle you with BS. She is elaborating a lot. Um, if she don't care how much a man make, so would you date a man that took the bus?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I wouldn't be with a man who took the bus. You have to have your finances in order. I never said that you didn't have to have your finances in order.
Okay, so what? How much? You're living in Florida. How much is? Are you comfortable putting your city out there?
I live in Orlando. It's on my page.
Okay, Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
How what is the minimum income I need to make in order to be able to say I can save $500 a month?
Ooh.
Y'all like the video? Like the video. We got 700 people in here, almost like 100 something likes last time I checked. Need y'all to like the video. If y'all want to see some more of this, y'all need to like these videos.
They're about $500 a month.
If I pay all the bills and in excess after I include maybe weekend drinks, I need to be able to set aside $500. How much would you say I need to make in order to do that in Orlando?
I would say it's like what 50, 65K, maybe.
65K. We'll go with 65K. Wade says black women wife is like a pug police dog, not practical. Why does she use partner instead of wife? I didn't even hear that.
Oh, because I know that some people are they like to say that they don't want marriage. So if you want a long-term relationship, you're going to be classified as a partner. I know I want a husband, so.
So here's another thing. Let's see how much. Let's see something that's different between you and these foreign women. You want to get married, right?
Correct.
Okay, we're gonna get married at the courthouse. How does that sound?
Okay.
We'll do the wedding in 2 years later when I get my money right. How does that sound?
If that's what we want to do, that's what we're gonna do. Listen, this is a great conversation. My mom and I actually had this conversation before, right? Especially during COVID. I have told my family that for my wedding, I don't want any drama because weddings can be very stressful. Before I did aesthetics, I was a makeup artist for brides. I only did bridal parties. And because I value relationships so much, I told her, I said, if it's stressful, I'd rather elope.
So you're gonna get married at the courthouse. That's fine.
If that's what's best for us, then yes. And we can have a wedding a year after, 2 years after.
Okay.
The thing is, like, people focus on I think they put too much focus on the wedding itself and not the marriage, right? And I
Okay.
problem.
Okay. So we're gonna get married at the courthouse. He can make 65 grand in Orlando. He can catch the bus. Ask her how many relationships she had that she didn't leave.
Am I waiting until you finish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because you're laughing and you're pausing. So I'm like, so I left my last ex and my college boyfriend.
How many relationships total have you had?
2 serious relationships. I'm very picky.
Let me ask you this too. I got a chick in Colombia I've been talking to since I went there last. She sits on my lives and she would just sit there on FaceTime with me and just sit there.
Okay.
It's been 3 hours at one point, and I asked her if she's bored, and she says no, she just enjoys watching me. Do you see yourself supporting your man like that?
Yes, if I like him.
If you, what does it take for you to like a man?
What was it take for me to like a man?
Yeah.
Obviously I have to be attracted to him. I have to like
Let's do the whole thing. Let's start physically because we want to do some comparisons to
or
that. So you physically, what does this man need to look like?
I would like for him to be fit.
Somebody, y'all write this down.
Yeah, write it down. Write it down.
Fit.
I want him to be fit. So I
Mm-hmm.
want him to be physically fit, right? I want
Mm-hmm.
him to be financially fit. So financially stable, whatever you guys want to determine what that is,
65 grand in Orlando.
that's fine. Okay. And I want him to be emotionally and spiritually fit. So I'm a believer. I want him to be a believer as well. That's a non-negotiable. And when I say emotionally fit, I want him to have emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So
And spiritually fit. Elaborate some more on that.
I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. So I want him to be the same. Not a Bible thumper, not someone who's in church 25/8 and living the complete opposite.
Okay, so there's a good number. He has to be black too, right?
I would like for him to be black, but
Okay.
I don't. I'm an equal opportunity woman. I have dated all type of.
Okay. So he doesn't have to be black, but we're gonna say black.
Yes.
There are a good number of black men that fit that description.
Hmm.
The audience is asking, why are you still single with that fact being there?
Because they're missing a non-negotiable. A lot of the times they do meet that description. They're 65K plus whatever, right? They're fit, but they're not believers, or they don't live their life based on what they're saying. And I'm not looking for a perfect man,
What do you
right?
mean? What do you mean?
Like I've had guys go on dates with me, or oh, well, I'll say this, have conversations with me, because I don't accept dates with men before having conversations with them to avoid all of this. And they'll pretend that, they're in church or they're believers. And then you start asking questions and you start paying attention to what they do on their social media and how they live their life. And it doesn't match up. Like just things like that. Their words and their actions are not parallel. They don't line up. So that's an issue for me. Or what?
We'll come back to that. Stay right there. Uh, Jason Ghost says, did she ever cheat? And if she did she admit? And what will she do if her man cheated?
Oh, they taking it there today.
Oh yeah, my audience, we about that smoke. I set the tone. I'm pretty much Wild West over here, so they're gonna be Wild West with you too.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's see. So what yeah. Did you ever cheat? And if you did you admit?
No, I've never cheated. Have I had the opportunity to cheat? Yeah.
Emotionally cheat too? So like if
Mhm.
you had a boyfriend and I slid in your DM, would you respond?
No, and in college I had a situation like that, and I told my boyfriend. I told him on break when we went on Christmas break.
Okay, because I had a chick. Let me tell you something. My ex, she would do that. She would always have dudes sending her, and I think it's weird that dudes do this, sending her random dick photos and shit like that. Dudes she doesn't even know on
Hmm.
her Snapchat. She used to show me it's crazy that some women have shit like that happening to them. Thank God I'm a man. But there was she one time I had bronchitis and I was in the hospital, and she texted me saying, "Hey, some dude dressed up like an Instagram celebrity just or a Pinterest celebrity just approached me asking for my number." And I was like, "Oh, I don't give a fuck. I'm not insecure, whatever." I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, so did you give me a number?" She's like, "Nah, he was ugly." Okay, but you just said he looked like some sort of model. Okay. And then we're in Walmart a month later and we're looking at something on her phone. And then a text comes in and it says, hey, I met you in the mall last month. My name is such and such, and then I got her to click on it. She didn't want to click on it. I told her, she was going to have to go if she didn't click on it. And it was the same dude. I asked her, she said it was the same dude that had just approached her. Have you ever been in that situation?
I have.
So you've done that.
No, I've never done what your ex did, but
So how are you in that situation?
This is the thing. You have to pay attention to how the woman responds, right? When I was with my ex-boyfriend, men are always trying to get my attention or, making their presence known. And I would tell him, like, if we'd have disagreements, you need to pay attention to how I respond and not what they do. I'm letting them know I'm spoken for. That shouldn't be an issue to you.
No. So you said you've been in that situation, but what I said was, she said a man approached her and she told me she didn't give him her number, but yet we're in Walmart and his text pops up while we're in Walmart. I asked you if you've been in that situation. You said yes.
Oh, no, I have not. That's foolish of her to do.
Okay.
Do that.
Yeah, I'll take note of that. House of Haas. Do women suffer from I'm better than him superior complex? Feminism has implanted the idea it's why they are prideful. Why do they hate it? Do you have anything you want to respond to that?
I feel like if they have that complex, is coming from a fear-driven place. Because you don't operate like that unless you're unhappy or unless you're scared.
Okay. So Mr. says, Auston, what car were you driving when the Colombiana helped you when you were throwing up? Was it 35 plus? I will tell you this. I was in an Uber, but you know what? You might be on to something. Maybe it's because I was an American and she wanted a green card. That's probably what it was. She just wanted a green card, so she burped me like a baby. So I agree with you. It's probably has something to do with that 35,000 plus. Let me see. We got a shitload of super chats. Let's see. Don't even bother. It's not organic with American black women. Go foreign. It comes natural. How old are you again? I know how old you are, but how old are you?
28.
So that somebody, this isn't a super chat. 28. She said she's 28. Somebody said that American women have minimum 15 bodies. Would you say that's you too?
If that's me?
Yeah.
Oh, her. No.
Okay. So what's her body count? 2, 5, 400, or 4,000?
Are they asking me to disclose my body count? Just understand that I don't need a hand for my body count. So.
You don't need a hand.
Yeah, you don't need a whole 5 fingers.
Okay.
You look
Appreciate
like,
this. Huh?
you look like you don't believe me. And obviously I'm not putting my personal business out there, but yeah, I don't meet that stereotype. So
well, I don't. You don't have to put too much of your personal business out there. I've never disclosed my body count, but I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I won't either. But I mean, 15 minutes.
Oh, hold on. But if your body count is less than 5, why won't you disclose that?
Because that's none of your business.
It's not none of my business. But women are proud of that less than 5 body count, right? I mean, because you could be 30 years old, and if a woman came up to me and said, I've only slept with 4 dudes my whole life, that's still a gem.
I agree with you. I definitely agree, but I'm also a lady, and I like privacy.
Okay. I definitely get that. We'll respect your privacy.
Yeah.
Are you fit, feminine, friendly, submissive, and cooperative? So I seen your page. It looks like you're fit. Friendly. You haven't been too combative here. Well, you haven't been combative.
Okay.
Cooperative. You've been pretty cooperative here so far. But are you submissive? Meaning that you don't argue with me.
I don't argue with you.
No.
I'd like to say yes. If you ask past history, I'd like to say yes.
Oh, so you'd like to believe that?
I would like to believe it. The only reason I would say that is because looking back at my last relationship and how things transpired, they would
Uh-huh.
argumentative. But then actually when I spoke with them, that was a different case because accountability was taken.
Okay, because can you tell one of them? Can one of the mods tell Austin my super chat? Yeah, if you can find Derek Mitchell's super chat, please do it because I can't find it. Okay, so you would like to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the super chat here too.
The UK, don't read the comments. I'll read the comments for you.
Okay.
Because when I'm in South America, those women understand that they don't argue with me. And it's not that I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling them, it's actually still shocking to me. When
Mm-hmm.
Austin starts speaking, even if you watch some of my interviews,
Mm-hmm.
you can see when I start speaking, they stop. They've been raised to, okay, let him go ahead. And I say, no, go ahead. And they'll say, no, you go ahead. They're basically like, you're the man, go ahead and finish speaking. I'm just saying that's what I noticed. Could you see you at behaving that same way?
I believe so because we've done it on the live right now.
Okay.
If,
So
if I,
we'll have to have many more conversations, I guess, to find out the truth
yeah,
about that one, because that
sure.
might be a front for right now.
And I can take that, you know. This is new, so it's fine. I'll tell you this: I don't like to argue. I don't like to argue, and the experiences that you're having, I have had with U.S. men as well, which is why I don't like it. Right? I don't like it. I don't. I find that I think it's important for men too to also have temperament, as I said earlier, and to have patience. No one's saying that you can't lose your cool, right? But for you to start raising your voice, screaming, cursing, carrying on, I'm not raised like that, right? When my dad speaks and there's a certain tone that he has, I know to hush my mouth and let him speak. But he doesn't have to yell and curse and carry on. So when I deal with that, it's a turnoff to me.
Okay. So the UK economist says, find it amusing. I find it amusing that when women will have such standards, yet these women are not traditional, meaning a virgin before marriage. Uh, she's single because the men she's looking for is not looking for her. How old is she? She's 28. So do you think that the men that, well, we've already described the men that you're looking for. Okay. Do you feel those men are looking for you?
The individuals that I'm interested in, yes, but again, I have non-negotiables, and if they're not meeting them, I don't think it's smart for me to say yes.
Did you already describe your non-negotiables?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I
Let's
can.
hear those non-negotiables because you keep saying those.
You want me to say them?
I want to, yes, because I
Okay,
need that'll help us.
sure. So my first non-negotiable is that he has to be a man of faith, right? My second non-negotiable is that I want him to be financially stable. And my third non-negotiable, and I may get flack for this, I don't want to be with a man with children, right? And it's not saying that they're inferior to me. I would like to have that experience with my husband for the first time. I
Okay.
know
What was that first one again?
a man of faith.
So a man of faith,
Mm-hmm.
financially stable, and no children. So half of the black men in the country don't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have 50% of black men in the country to pick from so
Okay.
far. Financially stable. What was the number you guys for the fight? I know it was like I think 60% of black men. So we're gonna keep it at 50% still,
Mm-hmm.
or in the middle class, financially stable. Man of faith. I don't have the data for those. I don't have the data for that. But uh, so if those are your non-negotiables, why are those men not checking for? Why are you said they're checking for you? But it sounds like 50% of the black men are your ideal guy. So what's the problem?
Well, we talked about finances, right? And we talked about children, but I think we are missing a component of my first non-negotiable. That is important to me. And I have dated the men that the gentleman just said are not checking for me. And they're pleasant men. But if they don't have that, it's not beneficial for what I need and what I'm looking for. So I don't think it's conducive for me to say yes to that.
Okay,
Do
it
you
sounds like you
answer?
beating around the bush on these answers
I'm
now.
not beating around. That's my answer. It's
I'm
I'm
I'm because I'm losing. I'm having to pay attention really hard to what you're saying because we're not getting. I'm a blunt guy, right?
that,
If you watch my interviews, I'm very blunt with my words. Whenever
mm-hmm.
people ask me questions or give me answers and they're really long, it's not hard to lose me.
Okay. Say what you want to say.
It's because I'm not getting that answer out of you. So let me come back to that.
Okay.
Gail Nelson says, does she have male friends? Does she keep those friends when she's in a relationship? Would she be okay with her husband having female friends?
That's a good question, Miss Gail. I do have male friends. I have limited female friends because of I don't like drama, so I'll say this. My friends that are female, they have emotional intelligence. Um, my ex did have female friends. I would be fine with my husband having female friends as long as there are boundaries and understanding. Because when I get into a relationship, I don't have to have a conversation with my guy friends. They know. And if there are any boundaries that have been crossed, then you know it's not acceptable. And I can actually relate to that because I've had that issue before.
So gay friends, you can have gay friends. Do you
You
think
said if
that's
I
okay?
have friends.
Because I honestly I was okay with one of my chicks
Mm-hmm.
uh, having gay friends at one point until I cut hair, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
had a gay client, and he claimed that he was fucking some chick. He showed me a picture of her, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, he ain't doing that. He gay.
Mm-hmm.
He had it on video. So the gay dudes are fucking their homegirls. So she can't have no male friends at this point. So I know that probably had nothing to do with what you're saying. I just feel like saying that.
No, I mean I can understand it because I've had someone tell me a similar situation. This is what I'll say. I don't think you should be with anyone that you don't trust, right? And this is my thing. I like to tell people what I like, right? What I accept and what I won't. And I expect the man to do the same. I don't like to repeat myself. So after I've said what I've said, I would like for us to take heed to what we've said to each other and pay attention to if we are considering what has been said.
Okay. Uh 28 at this age, these type of women are single for a reason. She's done, bro. Let her out the back. She's disingenuous off camera. Why hide? Are you on your phone?
I am.
So why aren't you on camera?
Because we agreed to do the interview this way, and I didn't expect for you to ask me so quickly.
So what? I know we spoke yesterday for the first time, but what do you mean so quickly? What's wrong with getting on the camera
Because
in a day's notice?
when I do interviews, they're scheduled out ahead of time, and I didn't expect for you to ask me to do the call so quickly.
But what's gonna happen? Because if you talk about makeup, makeup happens in an hour.
I mean, it's not really about that. It's just I feel like I told you before we got on camera. I feel more freely talking like this, and
Okay.
I said if it's an issue, we can reschedule. But you said let's do it, so I said okay. And I also told you I'm not a catfish because I know men go through that all the time. So
Okay. She's not wifed up at 28 for a reason. That's it. What is her relationship with her father? That's a good one.
it is a good one. My dad and I have a great relationship. It wasn't always like that. So I was raised in a two-parent household. I also saw my parents get divorced at 17. And one thing I'll say is living with both parents, living with my mom and then living with my dad, I can see why they got married and I can also see why they got divorced.
Okay. Oh shit! I didn't even read that one. Let me
She
go
wants
back. What if she is 40 and single? What will she do? What so let's say you still single at 40 years old. What's gonna be what is that gonna look like? What are you gonna do? I have these stages. I don't know. These are
okay.
older videos. You probably don't know. These women from 8 and I mark my fucking words on this.
Mm-hmm.
18 to 24 or 5. They are
Mm-hmm.
in their whole stage. From
Mm-hmm.
25 to 28, there's a no good man stage. From 28 to 33, they're in the spiritual stage. From 33 to 42, they're a cougar. 42
Uh-huh.
plus, they just say there's no good men out here. So right now, you are in what I call the spiritual stage. Are you burning sage and drinking sea moss and shit and eucalyptus?
So my dad actually sells sea moss, so that's funny.
Oh,
but
You're consuming sea moss on a daily basis.
no, I don't drink it on. It's only for to prevent illness. So no, not on a daily basis. I don't
How
burn
often?
because that's witchcraft. One, and two, a spiritual stage. I've always been like this. This is how I was raised. I wouldn't say it's a stage, but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I just think that when women have realized they've exhausted all their options, that's when they can say that there are no good men out here. I understand that. That's not my perspective, though. So,
Okay. So your next stage is the cougar stage.
uh-huh. What's the age for the cougar stage? What age group is that? What age? So I can.
30, 33 to 42.
33. Okay.
33 to 42. Whenever I was 20, when I was 19, 20, 21, 22, I had a plethora of women in that age range.
Okay.
28, I mean 20, 33 to 42.
Mm-hmm.
They were the easiest women for me to pull at that age.
I see.
Do you see you being in that stage when that comes around?
33 dating a what? 20 what?
Somebody my age, 21, 22,
No,
23.
no. I mean, unless he's emotionally intelligent and has his stuff together, not really, because men take a minute to mature. So no, I wouldn't say that I could see myself doing that.
You
I
think
personally like dating my men my age now.
you don't like dating men your age?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Why is that?
The immaturity. I
Okay.
mean, yeah,
Okay.
the immaturity. Mm-hmm.
So Gail Nelson asks again, does she want children in 2 years? 90% of her eggs will be gone. Why would a man who wants legacy choose her?
It's a good question. I like Miss Gill. I do want children.
Miss Gail got you thinking.
She does. I do want children, and I mean, after talking to my OBGYN, based on what they've said, I'll be fine. With my not alone with my physique, but with my health, the condition of my health. And what was the last question? Why would a man choose me?
Mm-hmm.
Legacy. Um, because I think that I would be a good choice to carry his children and to raise them.
Okay, so if your OBGYN says that you want children, you need to have them by your 29th birthday.
Everything.
Are you gonna let somebody run up in you and get you pregnant real quick?
Not if they have the non-negotiables. No, I know that sounds. I
Those
know.
non-negotiables are
That,
common though.
Austin, are you not listening to what I'm saying? No, they're
They,
not.
they're common. You
The first.
said he needs to be spiritual,
Uh-huh.
financially stable, and childless.
Okay.
This is what I was talking about on Andre and Kosher's live yesterday.
Okay.
I told you 50%, 51%, I believe is the exact number of half of the black men are childless.
Mm-hmm.
But women only see a small number of men. That's why they say these men are out here aren't shit. Like there's the idiot lady that made the video that's like, y'all can't go get your passports because y'all got child support. So if only half of the population of black men have kids,
Mm-hmm.
you mean to tell me that all the motherfuckers on child support? No. So, but the fact that she thinks that she's talking to all men when she says that this is what I'm saying. You women only see a
Mm-hmm.
small number of men. There are, I believe, it's 17% of men in this country getting 70% of
Mm-hmm.
the entire female population pregnant. So everybody's choosing. Y'all are all shuffling through the same amount of men. So those non-negotiables, I don't think it should be that hard for you to find it, but maybe you need to expand your options a little more.
I'm not going to give you pushback on that because I agree with the previous statement that you said. But I just know we're talking about an anecdotal situation for me, right? I think it's beneficial for me, not only because of my experiences, but I also know who I am and I understand what I need too, right? And I hear what you're saying, but the risk that I also take on as a woman, getting pregnant and things of that nature, possibly dying on the table. I'm not saying men don't make sacrifices, but I have to really deem that man as valuable for me to have his children. And obviously he'd have to deem me valuable as well. But I don't think it's as easy as you're saying, because I'm actually very open-minded. It's just I'm also very intentional. And I think sometimes when you're intentional, that may look as if your option, your mindset is not open. And that's not the case. Like I'll talk to more men. I deal with more men when I talk to them on the phone in comparison to getting a date. Because again, you may like how the person looks, but when you have a conversation with them, you may not like what you're hearing. You may realize that you guys are not on the same page.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this.
What?
What I just heard, I
Mm-hmm.
think has been my entire life, and this is why I had to go overseas to have a good time. You just said you might like how they look, but
Mm-hmm.
when you start talking to them, you might not like what they hear. And this is what I was saying. In the United States, women are listening to not fuck with you. Overseas, they're loving what you're saying or what you look like because they want to find reasons to fuck with you more.
Mm-hmm.
If and this isn't even an exaggeration. The United States, I would never give I don't date women in this anymore, but I'm just saying I would never give a chick my Instagram because the minute she sees that my shoelace was tied this way rather than that way, she's not interested anymore because I have my fucking shoelace was tied or that I had on an orange shirt or a Hawaiian shirt. It's too picky.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
too picky. It's too picky. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Vernon, Andre C. I'm gonna get to these cash apps after I finish these super chats. Andre C. Hatchet says, "What's her dating age range and IG name?" Yeah, what is your dating range? I mean, age. For you know, what I'm trying to say, what is your dating age range?
So my dating range, it's like my cap was 35, right? Now I pushed it to 38.
Okay.
I have age gap dated before. I'm not comfortable being with a man that's the same age as my parent. I've tried it. It's not for me.
Okay. Vernon, you says, "Was this person born a female?" No offense. Were you?
Oh, I thought you told me to wait until you
No,
finish.
no, no. They said no offense. They said, "Were
Yes.
you born a female?" No offense.
Yes.
Okay, hold on, because you scared me right there. That was too long of a
Oh,
pause. I said, "Oh
I was
shit!"
waiting to finish the super chats.
Oh
Mm.
no, 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 no. Okay, so she's a woman, is what she just said, biologically from birth. So you don't identify as a woman. You are a woman.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, the what is it? The hers, hims, and thing nonsense.
The pronoun nonsense.
Yeah.
Yes. Love in Dayton, Los Angeles says that if she has a little dog, foreign car, diamond studded license plate frame, yoga pants, and designer shades, she's full of doo doo. Do you have any of that?
I do not.
Okay. Damn, I got so many super chats, man. It's gonna take me. So answer these few questions really quick so I can catch up on everything. Austin, it's time. Oh. Someone needs to tell her that black men left the church a long time ago when it started pandering its number one customer, black women. TD Jakes just showed you that because when TD Jakes went against black women, the next week I believe it was, his entire church was like 30% full or some shit like that. They had a picture of it.
Mm.
As Christian women, what do you think if your man cheated, and who vets the man that she wants to take seriously? Really, who is vetting your women? Is it your homegirls?
No, I have my father and my stepfather vet them.
And you ain't found nobody.
Yeah, that is a fact. And my they're also West Indian too, so we may look at things a little differently.
So you gonna go back to Trinidad to find a man?
I don't say I would go back there, but I've been considering. I will say my father would prefer for me to be with someone like myself. He wants me to be with a West Indian man. So, and I understand why.
Okay. Guys, we've had 3 or 4,000 people come to the live and we only have 500 likes. I'm gonna stop bringing y'all content if y'all being ungrateful.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
So just piggybacking to the conversation about the phone call, what I was saying, I realized I wasn't clear. I was saying as far as like a man can like you how you look, but then when you speak to him, he may change his mind based on the conversation you've had. So the reason I say I prefer to have a conversation with a man is out of the courtesy for him before any time or money is invested. That's what I was saying.
Okay. And I would, yeah, I would agree. I like to, yeah, do that too. But it seems like in the United States, you can't say the right thing.
I agree with you. I agree. I saw the
So,
clip the girl asking, I guess she was talking to a guy about getting her nails done and she was like, just send the cash app. I don't understand why what that was about, but I understand.
so what do you think about feminism? He asked right here.
I mean, it's a good question, but I don't necessarily have a comment about feminism. I don't know if feminism is conducive to relationships today and what it was supposed to be meant for. I think when I think of feminism now, I just think a lot of masculine butch women who are angry and don't like men. I don't think that's what the purpose of feminism was for.
Okay. Let me read these cash apps before I get to this super chat. Okay. Gail at night says, "Can you slow down the chat?" I do not know how to slow down the chat on StreamYard. I thought I did it on my YouTube live, but that doesn't work either. Sorry about that. Fiji Nin says, Thanks for being the change you wish to see in this world." Thank you very much. Tony asks, "For what price range is non-negotiable?" I think we already answered that one though, right?
I think so.
60. Just know that she needs 65K.
Yeah, they can run with that.
If she wants a man of faith, why not just go to the church or mosque to find a man? What do you think?
Why not go to the church or the mosque to find a man? Because it's more than just about going to the church.
Well, if you want a childless man, I mean, because it's going to be easy. I think the hardest thing to find
Mm-hmm.
out of those three non-negotiables is going to be a spiritual man.
Right.
Religion is dying every year. That the further you go back, the more it was, the less it is now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard to run into a man that doesn't have kids. It's not that hard to run into a man that's financially stable. So why not go to the church?
No, I just said it. I just answered your question. Just because a man is in church doesn't mean that he lives his life based on what he's saying. It's just like you sitting in a car in a garage doesn't make you a Mercedes or a Kia. it's
Okay.
it's that's honestly how I feel. That's my perspective.
So Y says she doesn't have her costume on. Men she wants, but does she know what those men want? Brazilian women is always camera ready. Uh, she got bonnet. She got a bonnet on. That's why she not camming up.
I don't even wear bonnets.
Uh, most women want their man to go to church so that the pastor can tell the man what to do. Oh,
Oh boy.
that might be true. That might be true.
Comments are
She a Christian. How do you feel about Timothy 2:12? Mr. Mr. Wise. Oh, Ellie Galloway says for couldn't super chat, Mr. Wise. Thank you for that, sir. Okay. Damn. Okay, these people are reacting. I'm still at the super chats from 4:09 p.m. So somebody said, "What a great day for an exorcism."
what on
Uh,
earth is
let's see. Okay, we're coming to the end of the super chats. I think I'm at 4 minutes and 12 seconds. I mean, 4 hours and 12. I mean, 4 p.m. 12 seconds. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys can't, if you guys are think you can't get the super chat, just send me a cash app because I can see those a lot clearly here. She's in a church. The men she friend zone are probably the ones that were interested in her. Now, how many men have you friend zoned?
I mean, I can't count how many men I friend zoned.
Yikes! Why is that though? That is very rude.
It's not rude.
That's very rude. See,
How
yo,
is that?
no. What? That's where your husband is at.
I beg to differ. I have to disagree with that one. So we can agree to disagree there. Arms folded and all.
What kind of what kind of man was in the friend zone?
Listen, my guy friends, they are amazing men. And maybe this is because I know too much about them. Maybe. But they are not my husband.
Why?
Because of the things that I know about them.
But do they like you?
Do my guy have my male friends like me? Yes, they have.
So they're good enough to take their non-sexual attention, but they're not good enough to date, to seriously date.
So and this is good because I've heard this conversation before. So it's not like when we go out there paying for me and they do all these things that my boyfriend would do that they're not my boyfriend. It's nothing like that. We're like genuinely friends. It has nothing to do with, their giving me their non-sexual.
But he wants to knock you off, but you don't want to knock him off. So why are you leading him on?
I'm not leading them on. I have clear, concise conversations with them. This is not going anywhere. If any boundaries are crossed, then we cannot continue the way things are.
Okay, we'll say that you said that. Alexa, play "All About You" by Tupac. All this headache is not worth it for Black women. Sorry. How many guys do you talk to at one time? So are you talking to anybody at all right now?
I date one at a time. I don't like to, I'm not a serial dater. One at a time. So if you're asking if I have a rotation, like most women, no. I only talk to I like to give a person an opportunity. So I'm not gonna talk to more than one man at a time.
Mm. Okay. Let's see. I'm almost at the time of the current time for super chats. The fact that she can't show her face on camera is a red flag. She must be dependent on makeup to look decent.
Hmm. Do I need to respond to that or?
If you want to.
Oh yeah, I don't have a response.
Uh, what are her height requirements for a man? Does she utilize lace frontal or weave installations? How many tattoos does she have?
My height requirements for a man. I'm 5'4", so I'd like for him to be taller than me. Um, do I utilize face lace front? I've never used a lace frontal. Do I have installs? Yes, I do. I do have hair extensions, but I have a head full of hair, so that's
You have
just
tattoos?
convenience. I'm sorry.
You have tattoos?
Yes, I have two, but you can't see them. They're very dainty.
Okay, it's gonna get a little personal. Where are they at?
You can't see them unless I have a bathing suit on. I don't have any what do they call them? Tramp stamps. I don't have those things.
So there's no tattoo on your lower back.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, because I did a video about the "Love Me" tattoo on the lower back. I ran into that one, and it's definitely a tramp stamp. Dude, you are a true red pill genius. This is a broad. I mean, this broad is a fraud trying to lie. You wouldn't let up. His car influenced her cooperation. I knew it. City boys, we up one. What do you think about that?
um oh, about his comment.
Yeah.
It's comical, and this is not anything to him personal because I don't know him, but for men like him to reference city boys just shows me his mindset. So I mean, I don't know. I also think honestly, I don't know your audience personally, but it's unfortunate because even with the comments that some of them are making, it just seems like men are so jaded and over it that talking to someone who is a representation of what you guys are seeing, it's like you're not even open or willing to hear what they have to say.
I would agree.
Yeah, that's
I'm I'm a guy that's over it too. When I was in Colombia last week, my mom tried to put me on the phone with a woman, and I
mm-hmm.
was I wasn't. She wasn't getting no time a day out of me to the point where she just told my mom, like, okay. I mean, she told me, okay, I'm gonna give the phone back to your mom, and I was like, yeah, I really don't want to meet you. Like, I don't. She said she saw a picture of me and she liked how I look. I don't want to. I don't want to see a picture of you though. I'm done wasting time. Would she be willing to be one of two wives to a man that has two? If a man wants to have two wives,
No,
no. Okay. Does she participate in the female phases, seasons, Black Girl Magic, Hot Girl Summer, FNF, Soft Girl era? Have you ever
no,
done? You've never
yeah,
been a Hot Girl Summer?
no. We've already talked about that earlier. No,
The Hot Girl Summer was canceled this year.
I mean I've never partaken in a hot girl summer, right? And I know people will say, "Oh, it's subjective." To me, it's not subjective. It has a negative connotation. I don't partake in those things.
Roe v. Wade canceled the Hot Girl Summer.
Yes.
I heard somebody say the only women I'm worried about was sluts and whores. Okay. Mini Mike says her emotions are controlled better than the critic with carpet hair and a girlfriend. And they'll say, "Oh yeah, that dude that was what you call bitch energy." And he made a video about me after that too. Got no views. Yeah, all my critics out there, you'll never make it. I hope you know that. A lot of women define emotional IQ with an underlying implication. They seem to mean he should know what I want and move to prioritize or comfort out me telling him, what do you mean by emotional IQ? I swear to God, that is so fucking right.
What do I mean by emotional IQ? I thought I touched on that earlier. Just having control with his emotions and his temperament if there is a disagreement or if they are angry. It's not about him knowing what I want. You have to learn, you have to teach someone about you. You have to teach someone to love you, and you have to be willing to learn to do the same thing, right? So it's not about him knowing or reading my mind. I think it's very ignorant to expect somebody to read your mind, right? And I think it's also ignorant for a person to think that you marry a person, they're going to stay the same forever. I'm open-minded to know that my husband may change. He will change, and we may or may not grow together, but it's not about him knowing what I want and doing that. It's just having some control. Like, control your emotions when you don't like something, when you don't get your way. Still treat me like a person that you respect when you're upset. If I don't do what you say, or when if we're having a conversation or something needs to be done. A lot of men don't do that. And I think that's a problem as well. And I know for a fact women don't do that, and that's a big issue.
Who would you submit to, Kevin Samuels or Russell Wilson?
Oh my goodness. Not this question again. Um, I have to choose out of those two. Hmm.
Yeah.
The reason, and this is the thing, because I've watched both, although Russell doesn't have a channel. Because of how Kevin dealt with women, I would not submit to a man like that, right? I respect his channel and some of the things that he said. I didn't like the delivery. It's fine, right? I just
Mhm.
believe that sometimes when men refer to women in certain manners and certain terms, that there is a cap of respect that they have. So I wouldn't submit to a man like that, me personally. If Russell was not so jokey in a sense, and I'll explain what I mean by that. That's a term.
You think he's a cornball?
Yes, but not because that he's faithful to his woman. Because I was watching I Am Athlete and Shannon called him a square. That's not what it is. You can tell that Russell is, he's black and white, right? He's mixed, right? Okay. So based on what I got from that is, you can tell that he's with a black woman. He's married to Sierra now, and it's imperative for him um to have swag, right? To be in. But you can tell, because I went to school with people like that. But you can tell that outside of that, and looking at his woman prior to her, he was not like that. That's why I wouldn't be with him. It has nothing to do with him submitting to his wife and respecting her and loving her. I think all women want that, or they should want that. It's not necessarily because of him respecting his woman. It's more so because of his personality.
Okay.
So
At first, it was technical difficulties. Then it was we didn't agree to cam up. They come to these spaces to practice their latest talking points. KBB says, does his dick game have to be good for her?
it's his good
So
for me. For
what
me.
if he can't? What if he can't handle you right?
What if he can't what? I'm sorry.
What if he can't handle you right in the bed?
Again, you have to be willing to teach someone.
Ha! Bullshit.
Okay.
I call bullshit on that. I can tell you anytime I've gave some bad dick out, I have not talked to them since. They
Well,
ain't teaching nobody.
well, listen, that lets you know where their value and their priorities are. Like I said earlier in the beginning of the conversation. And maybe I didn't say that. Maybe I didn't expound on it, but it's like if I saw someone having a conversation on YouTube about men and money, right? And this lady basically said that she would not respect her man if he made less money than her. And that just makes me feel like they don't understand the value of a man because he has to be worth more than his pocket.
Okay. Okay.
Men
Well,
are-
I'm just telling you, anytime I didn't gave out some bad dick, um,
Did they tell you why? Did they explain to you what?
well, the thing with women is they not most. You got to be a gym to tell. They usually not going to tell you why. The first time you have sex with a woman, you better put it down.
Mm,
Better. That's just as men, we know that. Better put it down.
mm,
Got to. That's why I told y'all to buy that honey. She
mm.
should be honest. Men don't just go off from a disagreement. They like to push men to their breaking point. That is true.
I think most women do that.
She's not wrong about church. I'm there twice a week. Most guys are too young, too old, got kids, married. They're out of spiritual desperation, lip smacking and neck rolling like they're not gay. I will agree with that last sentence. There are a lot of dudes in church that will tell you that they're not on that side of the fence, and I have to disagree. Uh, Christian with tattoos. Hmm.
That's
I'm
fair.
not too religious, so he said that's fair.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I never said that I was perfect and I'm not looking for a perfect man, so that's fine.
Most of the dudes in this chat are unrealistic, and I'm overseas myself.
Most of the what do they mean by that? Can he explain what he means when he
I
says
think I think what he's saying is like most of these dudes in the chat are unrealistic, and he's saying that he's overseas, and that's what they're saying is too far fetched. I don't know what he's referring to in particular though. Submission is something you do naturally, absolutely, absolutamente.
mm,
Uh, if she is she a virgin though? The Bible says a woman shouldn't sleep with anyone until she's married. All I see is a chameleon. Allowing your wife to twerk in public is respect and love. Tell me more about your Bible, though. The class is listening. Okay, so we're about to get ready to wrap this interview up. I'm about to ask her a pretty good question, and then we're gonna see.
mhm.
Uh, okay. 2 point question. Does she know she is considered a leftover woman after 25 plus and about men going overseas to go where they are welcome and appreciated? By Felicia, only fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and submissive need to apply. If you can't submit to those then that are below your standard and average at best, then you are below the standard and average at best. Okay. Let's see. I got another super chat, and I'm gonna ask her a question. It's fucking my mouse died. Okay. Okay. So as you know, my movement is to get men out of the United States. I'm getting a mass number of men to leave and at least experience. And once those men experience that, not if they're going over there fooling with the girls that are for sale. I'm talking about the women, the genuinely interested women, there's no coming back. They can never fool a woman in the States. So what are you gonna do? Because it's gonna happen. What are you gonna do when this movement gets so big and all the good men, the dudes that have the non-negotiables that you're talking about?
Mhm.
What are you gonna do when they're all following behind me to Colombia, Brazil, Thailand, Ethiopia, South Africa, Philippines, etc.? How are you gonna compete to keep those men here?
How am I going to keep them here?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be kind about this response.
Go ahead. Don't be. We are. This is the Wild West. We
I know, I
are,
know. It's not about because I know you probably think my answers are very like clean and rehearsed. It's not about competing to keep them here. If I don't meet someone that has those non-negotiables, right? Then I don't foresee myself moving forward with a man then. Because I think a lot of people that are married now in relationships that are unhappy is because they were doing it out of desperation and doing it because everybody.
desperation.
I don't think you should do that.
You think it's out of desperation?
Yeah, they feel like they're on a time frame, or well, this is the best I can get, or I don't really like this situation's not healthy, but I might as well. I don't subscribe to that message. I don't think that's healthy. I wouldn't encourage my children to do that.
But no, 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 no. Look, that's not what I asked you.
Hmm.
I said these men that are about to follow behind Austin, and I'm about to get them to go overseas. They might not come back. More than like, what are you gonna do for those men? Because some of those men are a viable option for you. What
Okay.
are you gonna do to keep those men? If you knew his phone number, how would you? What
Hmm.
would you do to him to get him to feel like he doesn't need to go overseas to find that man?
Hmm. I mean, if I have his phone number and if I'm interested in talking to him and vice versa, I would need to know what would coerce him to stay. What does he feel like is missing? Is really the question. What's missing? What is the problem? Why do you feel the need to leave?
Uh oh. We
One.
got a motherfucker in this chat. Sis, you know what you offer to a man. The problem is these men want exceptional women without being exceptional. Ma'am, now I'm gonna tell you this right now. I've been making six figures since I was 20 years old. I am an exceptional man. So we can go, and I still can't get a goddamn exceptional woman. Don't try that over here. We got 958 people ready to squash you. I don't think she's a transgender, you guys. Yeah, y'all keep saying that. How would she rate herself from 1 to 10? Can't use 7. RP Kevin Samuels.
I don't have a comment for that one. Oh, are they probably going? They're probably going on my Instagram and probably seeing my workout videos. Yeah, no.
What would you? No, no, that's not. What would you rate yourself?
I don't know. I don't know what I rate myself.
Your guy Jason Black in the comments down here. Your guy Jason Black. He does a horrible job at what he does. He did not squash me on his live stream. He had and I told him he had the argument points of a broad. So no, I appreciate his free exposure. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions. But yeah, they said they're not on your Instagram. But if you guys, if this, and I'm not saying she's wrong or she's bad or nothing, but if this inspired you to go overseas after watching my videos and watching this live, I will put a link to where you can learn, and I'm gonna pin it to where you can learn software engineering, and you get 40% off. So you sign up; it's only $15 a month, and you get 40% off, and you get to learn how to be a software engineer overseas. Get your visa in Brazil. You can stay as long as you like. Well, don't worry me on how as long as you like, but you can stay longer than a month. If I didn't have YouTube, this is what I would be doing. So I'm gonna put that right here. You have to use the discount code Passport Bros in order to get that 40% off, though. Well, ma'am, do you have any questions for your dream guy that may be watching this YouTube video right now that you did not cam up for?
um, I don't have any questions. I would just I would just encourage. I hate seeing people so jaded. That's what I would say. I don't have any questions, but
Talking about the people in the chat.
no, not just people in the chat, just people in general. Like it's unfortunate to see people jaded because they're tired of dealing with the same thing and they're not getting their desired results. But at the same token, I guess they also have to ask themselves what are they doing outside? Because I'll be honest with you, if I had anyone on my platform do this interview, they would be so offended based on the questions that were asked and the commentary, because some of the questions and the comments were very facetious, which is to be expected, right? But it's like, what are they doing to fix the problem that they're having as well, besides like leaving? Because again,
Ma'am. So what you just said, I think is what I call the self-improvement therapy scam.
okay.
This scam has been going on for far too long. Uh, what people say is, oh,
Hmm.
look in the mirror or you need to work on yourself. I've worked on myself, still get minimal results. So how much do I need to just spend my time in the United States going on a self-improvement frenzy?
No, that's what before I was able to finish. That's what I'm saying. If you're not able to get what you want here, then sure, leave. But I'm just saying that, like, so what if you go, that is a good question. So what if you go abroad and you
Mhm.
have the same issue? Not you, because I know you said you've been having great luck. But for your supporters, what if they go abroad and they have the same issue? What are they gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I tell these dudes all the time to brush their teeth and wash their face,
Hmm.
and I tell them to work on their charisma. And I also just gave them a software engineering job that they can learn for whatever 40%. I mean, $15 minus 40%. It is very cheap. I'm not even gonna do the math.
Okay.
But you click on that, and you guys, that's how you can improve yourself. You keep watching these YouTube videos out here. Yeah, that's how you're gonna improve yourself. Because those women overseas don't want bums as well.
Hmm.
You're gonna have to provide anywhere you go. Uh, but we leaving that 50-50 shit alone. How can other women find good black men and black women can't? Ah, and that's what I told these women when they say, "Oh, we gonna go over here. We got options." Do you think women? Do you think black women actually? It's not about black women. Do
Hmm.
you think American women have options outside the United States like American men?
No, because of what they're looking for.
Because men are looking for beauty,
Hmm.
cooperation, submission. Women are looking for status and wealth, right? And the United States is the best place for that. So anywhere we go, we're yeah. But women, I mean, you going women say we can go to Brazil and do the same thing. Well, those dudes make $400 a month on average. So you gonna take care of him?
If I'm interested in a man and if I deem him valuable, then yes.
Ah, don't tell
I mean,
me.
like, I don't know what else to say. Like, if this is a man that I'm interested in and I want, then yes.
Okay. Passport Bros movement is more about what it represents. It represents men's awareness that most women today aren't wifey material and it triggers them. Get your bread up, get in the gym, gain some emotional intelligence, and get game too. You can't pull women without some game. And by game, he's talking about, I would say, charisma, I hope, right? Because the texting games, you can leave that shit in the States. You can't call her until 3 days later. Leave that shit in the United States. Don't take that shit to Brazil. You wait 3 days to call a Brazilian chick and she not gonna answer because it's dumb.
Mm.
That course will be in the description and it is pinned to the top of the chat right now. I also have that 300 jobs list that will be pinned. I've seen Gail post that a couple times. Thank you very much for that. But somebody asked a good question. One of my admins right here. He said, "What happened to 65K minimum?" But she said she would take care of the Brazilian man that makes $400 a month.
I didn't say that had to be a minimum. We came up with that number about you asking about how much someone had to make to save $500 a month. I didn't say that was a minimum.
I understand.
I didn't say it was a minimum.
Okay. Well, you guys are on Patreon, I'm about to get on there right now. We're about to have a serious talk about some stuff that happened while I was out of town. I'm not going to put it on YouTube. It is extremely vulgar. I'm already extremely vulgar anyway, but it is extremely vulgar. And it will start at 5:15. I believe I have it scheduled for. So make sure you're there. We appreciate you coming in today. Do you feel like you won?
Do I feel like I wasn't coming in, so I didn't know it was like
I'm just messing with you.
oh, because I expected this.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if your audience is a little offended because I'm not offended by the questions. Maybe I'm not emotional about the questions, but that's what happens when you're having conversation with people. So
Yeah, because United States men, our typical salary, somebody just hit us $5,000 a month, and the foreign men about $400. So,
hmm.
uh, you women need to stay in the United States.
I guess that's what they're saying.
You women need to stay in the United States.
I guess so.
Because unless if you ready to take care of a foreign man, they ain't enough. They ain't enough rich men in Brazil and Colombia for y'all. They're there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there ain't enough of them. And I'm gonna tell you this too: those men are used to cooperative, submissive, supportive women. So you're gonna have to switch your whole goddamn personality before you take your ass to Brazil if you want to find a man. I mean that. I'm about to tag the Patreon here. I know you're ready to go. It's been about an hour, 41 minutes. Somebody said we need to interview your ex.
That's gonna be interesting.
The Patreon is pinned up top. You guys go to the Patreon. I'm about to go there. I need to see at least 20 new people in there. Fellas, I'm the furthest from a simp, homie, but damn, y'all know she's clearly not a trans. She's one of the few women with the guts to get on this motherfucker. Relax. She's on here, but she's not on camera, and I know we agreed to that. But we're not gonna just say she got guts. She not on camera now. That camera is a whole different game. I'm on camera, and there's something that comes with that. Why did your last long-term relationship end? Have you participated in relationships that went on that you wanted to work falling apart?
I thought I answered that already. Right?
Yeah, he's probably late.
Yeah, I answered it.
He probably is late. He's probably late. But guys, did this live make you want to run to the post office because it's that bad? Let's see what y'all say. Is it that bad? Matter of fact, I told y'all I applied for the trademark for that bad. I just got something in the mail. I got to pay another high fee, but it's been trademarked. I own It's That Bad. So the t-shirts are on the way. It's really that bad. It's that bad. Okay. So they said that, yeah, it is that bad after this interview. I got like 30 people that said that.
Okay.
So it's that bad. And I appreciate you coming through. You guys go to the Patreon. Check the description for the software engineering and the job list. I'll see y'all next time.